a little bit of a different, fresher take on the Fed balance sheet right here. One of my favorite charts right now as a macro value investor in the crypto space. Don't forget, M2 Global Liquidity Index, just flashing a massive warning sign to all the bears out there. And that's you. That's you right there. That person that's calling me a clown in the comments. This is a warning. That's all this is. This is a macro warning. I want to discuss this chart, what it means for crypto. We're going to take a glance again at Ethereum. I have to. It's one of my favorite crypto charts right now. And the total crypto market cap, excluding top 10, wait until you see how all of this data that we're going to look at in terms of Fed policy pivot, global liquidity, wait until you see how that plays out on this chart. Hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're not in our intelligence system, check out the sale we have going on right now, 40%. We just added, by popular demand, SUI. Here's a SUI risk model. Not going to dive into it. We added SUI, we added Litecoin, and we actually added Cody, because I know there's people that have been wanting these. And I said it was disrespectful not to even have a risk model for Litecoin. So we are continuing to add to this system. So go check it out. If you're not a member, our members are prepared. They are getting prepared for what I think is about to happen. Let's start here. This is the Fed balance sheet. You know, I've been using this chart. I reference it all the time. Namely, we are waiting for the Fed to pivot into a quantitative easing environment. This is a zoomed out, just long-term chart, right? So this from the top of 2022 has just been contraction, bear market-y, and we are waiting for the pivot. And everybody, it is looking like it is coming. It's just a little bit of patience. We've made it this far. And what I want to do is I want to take the data, even going back here to 2012 to 2013, and I just want to show you, if this happens, it is best to be prepared. And I mentioned the M2 Global Liquidity because we cannot forget what's happening there right now. I've been enjoying Anthony Pompliano's posts lately. The economic boom in Q2, not priced in. I agree with that. I don't know if you've been seeing the data that's coming out right now. All the tariff fear, it has been opposite of what you know, all of the fear people were saying. And I like this comment. The doomsday predictors sure are awfully quiet these days. And then another post here. Global liquidity is telling you where asset prices are headed. All you have to do is read the chart. And I don't want to sit here and just act like everything is guaranteed, but I do want to present the data to you and why I remain incredibly bullish on the crypto space. And yes, it does include altcoins. I'm just as frustrated as anybody else that altcoins didn't move at like this precise moment that we kind of thought it would if we look at the 4-year cycles. But at the same time, when you just start reading the data and seeing what's happening, and it's very clear why there is a delay. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about. So we're waiting for, you know, this moment of even just quantitative tightening and this contraction phase just like slowing down, stopping, right? But then we're waiting for just, you know, this liquidity to enter markets and financial systems because of quantitative easing. These are the things we're waiting for. Interest rates to start coming down. So while we're waiting for that, it's important to note, if we're about to get this pivot, right? It's important to note what that could mean for crypto. Because we're going to go back first to look at this moment back here. This is 2012 into 2013, January 2013. What I wanted to do, and then we're going to look at Ethereum and altcoin charts. I wanted just to go to Bitcoin zoomed out, one of my favorite charts, everybody. I don't know if you were here in 2018 when I was doing videos and through this bear market back here. Nope, back here. But I created this chart that you see here right around, you know, the bear market lows, and we were anticipating the next bull market and then the bear market and then the bull market, and things are playing out very nicely. But check out all the way back here. There's 2012 into 2013. We just looked at it. Look what this did to Bitcoin. And at the time, Bitcoin was just a smaller asset by a lot, more likened to an altcoin. And if we go back, so we're referencing the beginning of 2013. If we go back to the Fed balance sheet, look what was happening. There is a direct correlation there in terms of what was happening. And then we can go back here. And this was basically, we know what happened here, March 2020. We know the money printers came on like ridiculously. But I want to point your attention to right here, September into October. And I don't even want to, we could use Bitcoin, but I want to actually just reference an Ethereum chart. Or actually, we can even reference the altcoin chart, since this is a heavily altcoin centric video. And we can go back to this area in 2019, October, November 2019, right? There's just the expansion phase starting on this chart, right? October, September, October, November. It is of no surprise you go to the altcoin chart and look what was beginning to happen. Bouncing out of the bear market. What do you think is going to happen? Maybe we go lower while we're waiting, because again, this is a very zoomed out cycle. We're waiting on many different things for this to really start turning around. But what do you think will happen to altcoins when that starts turning around? I mean, we have so much data on all of the crypto charts, and even in just traditional markets, we have so much data on what typically happens. I don't want to sit here and say it's a guarantee. We can't do that ever when we're talking about investing, right? And I don't even do that for myself. I might appear optimistic and confident, and it's because I am. I'm optimistic, but I'm cautious, right? I'm always anticipating worst case scenarios. But because of the bear market that we just had, because of the way in which the Fed policy played out, and it's typical, and this contraction phase, it has been years of pain and bear market, but years of prepping and opportunity and accumulation. And so when it comes to altcoins, guess what, everybody? If you're not out there bullish on altcoins, that's fine. I am. And you know who else is? Big money, institutions. Look at some of this data. ETF inflow, 78 million yesterday. And this is a post from today. BlackRock and Fidelity are buying the Ethereum dip. I saw this. This was from today. BlackRock buying Ethereum. BlackRock bought 50 million of ETH today. So I want to go back to this post I did in December 2024. I said BlackRock's Ethereum ETF now holds over 1 million ETH. And we've been tracking this for quite some time. This is December 2024, not that long ago. But this data paired with the fact that ETH is still consolidating below all-time high is an altcoin season indicator like we've never seen before. This post is incredibly good in context to what I'm about to show you. But it's actually a very good representation, I think, of why people are frustrated. I think people are probably they're annoyed at me, right? Because I was putting posts out like this in December. And I still think rightfully so. I mean, this right here in December, incredibly bullish macro indicator. But this story that you see here in terms of ETH and BlackRock accumulating, they were holding over 1 million ETH. So quantity 1 million, like just over 1 million, right? 17,000. Look at this today. This is today. BlackRock now holds 4 billion in Ethereum. What does that mean? BlackRock 1.4 million Ethereum. So December, they had 1 million. Now we're in June, they have 1.4 million. Do you understand that while all these other data points are coming together and we are in this incredible cycle, we're getting ready to enter an incredible cycle, an incredible era, as I would say many smart people are seeing because of the data, do you see BlackRock is continuing to just accumulate Ethereum? Do you think BlackRock, the BlackRock, is doing that on an Ethereum chart? If you look at an Ethereum chart, they're doing that. They've been just doing this because they think Ethereum is just going to keep going down? Or are they seeing actual data outside of just YouTube comments from many people that I assume are probably just very zoomed in on charts, tracking the hourly, the 15-minute charts? No, I think big smart money has been positioning even in altcoins because they know what is coming. And so when we're looking at an Ethereum chart, I did want to actually show you something. I know I've been dissecting it a lot, still waiting on the break into the apex of the triangle. We are at a very key area on the monthly. That's what I wanted to show you. You see this 50-month moving average, the 20-month moving average. The last time Ethereum was kind of in between these areas. We actually kind of saw like some support at that area right back here in September 2024. What I want to show you though is I want to show you kind of, it's not last cycle, but it's kind of the last time Ethereum was, and it was September 2023, right? It's not like the beginning of the last bull market, but the last time Ethereum was kind of trapped in between these key moving averages. So again, I'm going to show you the indicator that I think is incredibly meaningful, but it's kind of trapped on the monthly in between these moving averages. And right back here, September, October 2023, coming out of the bear market, by the way. This was a bear market exit move. It wasn't the beginning of like the bull market, parabolic bull market, to all-time highs, but big move, trap between the 20 and the 50, that blue and green line. What I want to show you is the stock RSI. I don't always use the stock RSI. It becomes way more interesting to me on zoomed out charts rather than zoomed in, like even a daily. It's helpful in certain times, but on a monthly chart, look at this. So what I'm trying to show you is this. When Ethereum made that power move out of this October, squeezing between the 20 and the 50, and we had months and months of just upside, I want to point out in September 2023, if I can find it. Now I have to find it again. It always does that, always changes. But September 2023, I want to point out to you, Ethereum was all the way up here in terms of the stock RSI. And even at that moment, you can see there was much upside in play to get into that real overbought territory. But what I really just want to show you, everybody, is look where the stock RSI is. It's a quicker moving momentum oscillator, but it is on the monthly. It's in oversold. It's like just about to come out of oversold. That's where Ethereum is right now. This to me, and I know I say things like this all the time, but it's a massive altcoin indicator. And, I'm just going to keep saying it. And if it all fails and if it all goes to zero, I'll come on here and I'll do a video and I'll be like, man, I'll be disappointed. But I will know that I track the data and I see what I see and I'm just presenting it. But oversold here, the upside for Ethereum is insane because September 2023 back here, you can see it still had great upside. It had a great breakout, right? If we look at that September 2023 area right here, look at that great breakout. Well, there's even more upside in play, and Ethereum's higher in price. In September 2023, it was $1,600, and it made a 140, 150% move. Right now, we are $2,600. What's the move look like? What's another 150% move look like? That's above $6,000 for Ethereum if it gets a breakout. And that's just if it repeats that last move back here. The upside, as I've noted on the RSI, the stock RSI, way more room. So I wanted to point that out to you. And then lastly, what I wanted to point out, we covered this chart, the altcoin market cap chart. I wanted to point this out to you. And it's really just this continued bullish divergence. It's just still in play, and it has been in play for quite some time. So basically, we see this chart with the lower lows, but the RSI, this momentum oscillator, slower moving momentum oscillator, higher lows, bullish divergence. We had a very similar thing back here, bullish divergence, and it led to a breakout, right? Back here, June 2023, that little breakout right there. What's also notable on this chart, and this is a weekly chart, by the way, is the MACD. Look at the MACD. It is like bottomed out. We're trying to get that MACD really kind of crossing above the signal line, the red line. The histogram is like green. It wants to go green, but then it's red. The insane battle between the bulls and the bears right now. And I don't know in this short term who will win. There is a possibility the bears win and we get a little bit red in the histogram. But I'll continue coming back to this chart, everybody, and following the narrative and waiting, patiently waiting on the macro, because eventually this thing is going to start trending up as we have M2 Global Liquidity Index doing what it's doing. These are my thoughts today, everybody. I just wanted to share it with you. I know markets are not doing much still. I know a lot of people are frustrated, but I'm just hanging in there. I'm just waiting, trying to wait patiently, I should say. So if you enjoy this content, please subscribe, turn notifications on. And if you're, again, not in our intelligence system, check out our sale we have going on right now. Go to our site and just check out all the tools that we have back there, including risk models, these new risk models. I would love to have you as a member. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. God bless.